And I'll tell you guys since we're all friends. Every character I write has a piece of me in them. Hi, I'm Lee Bardugo. You're listening to the Grisha Cast.
Welcome to GrishaCast, episode 154. In this episode, we will be discussing Season 2, Episode 7 of Netflix Shadow and Bone, Meet You in the Meadow. This is your host, Eric.
And I'm Terry. From Nashville, Tennessee, this is your podcast for all things Grisha First.
A world created by our strongest Ruby, Lee Bardugo. Moi savieni, casters.
Hi there, how are you?
Ooh, I'm good, girl. Let's do some listener cities.
Okay, first we have Espoo, Finland.
Then we're going to Sofia, Bulgaria.
Ooh. Thank you.
Yes. So, this is some hot tea.
It is hot.
Ooh.
I decided to let it sit for a second because there's a lot of
good idea.
A lot of steam coming off of it.
Yeah, it's a little warm.
A little warm.
I hear an echo. I'm just probably going crazy.
Maybe it's all in your head.
Is it? I don't know. So, anyways, yeah, sorry we had to take a little break last week. I had a migraine. Oops. And we just both were so busy we couldn't figure out another time to do it. So, we just skipped a week.
Yeah. Last week was one of those, you know how
Crazy.
you have those times where it's like, everything will be fine. I just have to get past this date, this weekend, this, particular thing in the future. Last week was that for me. So literally everything was due, happening, ending all like this last weekend. So, I mean, it's a relief that it's done. But it was I have no idea how I got through it. I have no clue.
So, are you done with school?
I'm done with the semester.
Okay. Was that last week that you were having a lot of stuff going on, or is that like the week before?
Last week.
Okay. Yes.
Like what's today? So my paper is due on May 4th, and I got it turned in on the 2nd.
May the 4th be with you.
And then, yeah.
Sorry.
And then that's done. Like, so class is done with that last paper. I have an A. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kicking grad school's butt.
Do it.
On top of everything else.
Yeah, you were rocking it, sister.
Alden's play was this last weekend. It was so good. And I'm not saying that as like a mom because Alden is crew. So it's not like I'm like, oh my gosh, the show was so good. Like, it was amazing. Like, I can't even, like, the talent.
That's what you
The
said.
talent. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of these kids are graduating because they're seniors.
Yeah.
But, like, one of my coworkers came on Friday, and she sat there the whole time with her mouth open, and we were just like, we were like, wait, this is a high school play? They were so good.
Wow.
It was, I don't even have words. It was so, I don't know. It was amazing. And I went up to one of the guys. He had a voice like, and I know this probably isn't going to mean anything to you since you're not a Les Mis guy, but
I know, I'm sorry.
his voice was like, it would be such a good Javert. Like, he had such control over his tone. And Laramie was like, I didn't know that high school boys, had their voice set enough to be able to, like, pull these things off. But the tone coming out of this boy.
Wow.
And I went up to him afterwards, and I was like, please tell me after graduation you're going to continue on. And he is going to study music theory. And he's also going to be studying something operatic, something or other. So,
good.
Yeah, I mean,
That's amazing.
The audacity to be that good at 17.
I think it's really neat when you see that because there are like I mean that's when people are starting to I think realize especially with singing usually like starts to develop definitely like stronger in high school and like I mean it's incredible. I just remember when I went to camp and like that was a my high school was like I feel like it wasn't a big musical-y place. Like I mean we did musicals but like
Right.
my camp was like we were huge on the fact that we did musicals and like so when we got like as we started getting older and some of us started to blossom more as like the
Mm-hmm.
really big like singers it was just really neat like I mean we all just like I mean I don't know I loved it I think it's really cool when people do start to see that and yeah, it's incredible, especially because I mean, that's the time that oh my god, you're so talented, you haven't had time to really you're still young, you haven't had time to mess
Yeah.
up those vocal cords too bad yet. They're fresh.
The girl that played Anastasia, like she could have been on Broadway. Like she
Wow.
was just as good as the one we saw.
Wow.
I mean, it was so crazy. Um, and I mean, the difference is like I talked about it with my coworker, because like our high school could have never, the sets, the costumes, the props, everything, the talent, like
Yeah.
our high school, never. Here's the difference. Where Alden goes to school, it's where all the rich kids go to school. So
True.
all these kids, first of all, so
Money.
for background, out in our high school, all of the privileged kids would end up going to like a magnet school or a different school.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of attempt to integrate. So we had a lot of the inner city kids
Mm-hmm.
bust in and a lot of the kitties, a lot of the kids from outside areas
Yeah.
bust BUSSED in. So there was no money.
Right.
So this school
Has got
has all of the money.
what's amazing is that's a public school.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear that.
But in our county, they place the schools and they zone right around the schools.
Mm.
So if the school is in a more rural area, it's all the rural kids going there. If it's in the rich suburban place, all the rich suburban places are going there. They're not mixing it up like they did when we went to school.
Yeah.
So this school has all the best of everything and all of the parents that can throw more money into it. And all these kids have had private singing lessons.
Yeah.
And so that's the difference.
It's cool that they get to experience it. However, it does make it sad to think about how there are then some other
Mhm.
high schools that
Yeah.
don't have any of that at all.
Yes.
Like would be completely on the other spectrum. It's not mixed. It's not there's just not a big group of kids.
And I will set a disclaimer saying I do not live in the rich neighborhoods
Right.
that this is surrounded by.
Yeah.
I am on the very, very, very edge in this little neighborhood full of like
Oh girl.
little ranch houses. But I moved there specifically
Right.
because it was cheaper and Alden could
still-
have all of the best things at the high school. But then I also make sure that I take him to work with me, that we go visit other places and we surround ourselves with other people because that's not
Life.
reality. That high
Very true.
school is not reality at all. It's a bunch of rich white kids.
Yeah.
But I volunteered the whole weekend on every show, and because it's just me and it's just a habit and it's part of my personality, I started like taking over.
What did
Because
you
I
start
can't-
doing, girl?
Because I can't help it. Like we started running low on programs. Nobody was helping like the new parents. Like there was a whole thing. And so I was like, do you know your job? Do you know what you're supposed to do? Let's talk about this. How do we know which parents are on the board? How do the new parents know who to talk to? Like it was a whole thing. And so I just like came in and took it over. And I felt bad a little bit because it was all these like seniors,
Someone's gotta do it,
parents that were like, they were just sitting around and they weren't doing anything. So I just went into action. And then we ran out of programs. So then I went Sunday morning early and got a bunch printed. Like, I just
Come on,
I
team
just
leader.
went in and like took over. And so I get this card from the theater teacher. Again, I think I've said this before. Everything in this theater is student run.
Yes.
So like
Yeah.
director, stage manager, everything, it's all students, which again, hello, is just crazy.
Right.
I get this card from the theater teacher and it said, "Thank you for all your help." And then there was a, "Will you be on the parent advisory board?" And it was like, I felt like it was one of those, "Will you be my bridesmaid?"
Oh, you got a little note.
And so she walked by and I was like, "Yes." And she came over and like gave me like the biggest hug and like just held on to me forever. She's like, "Thank you."
That's amazing.
So I always thought that I was going to be a band mom, but now I'm a
It's-
theater mom.
Hey, when you were telling your story, like just then, and you said you felt bad, I couldn't help but think, like, I'm sorry, but I remember seeing your mom,
Yes.
and your mom was just like that with band.
Yep.
And it's just yet two different things, but still, I mean, your mom, of course you've got that in you. Your
Yeah.
mom did it.
Mm-hmm.
She was, I mean, band mom.
Yeah, she
Bring
was.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, she was full on. I remember that.
So I thought that was going to be me. Like I always thought like my kids were going to be in marching band like me and we were going to do all the things. And then it didn't happen. Neither one of them wanted to play an instrument. But now
I'm kind of
I'm
glad they
a
did
theater
this.
mom.
I'm kind of glad it's this way, though. I love theater. I'm sorry. Like, band was fun, but I mean, I love theater more. And I love,
Yeah.
especially since, yeah.
And
love it.
Alden has decided that he wants to be stage manager before he graduates. So
Ooh, that's something
so now he's going to be working with the theater teacher and we're going to, I don't know, be spending a lot of time
yeah.
there. So
My God, our stage managers were teachers.
yes.
Yeah, because I can't even picture any of the students that we were students with that would even consider
The
that.
stage manager this last time, he's a senior, but like he had like a full-on suit on every night and like the headset and he's walking around and he's just like, "All right, we got to do this and we got to do this." And it just amazed me. And
Yeah.
like what a good skill to learn. And I didn't think about this until the teacher said something because she was saying Alden he's learned a lot of confidence because you have to have confidence to hit the marks, to like know exactly what needs to go where at what time and run and just go do it because there's no questioning, there's no time to like whatever. And I didn't really think about that because I've never been on crew. I'm so sorry for all the crew kids. And then so watching him after she said that, I really started to think about that.
Yeah.
Because there's no time. You have to be confident.
You're putting in this spot that there's no questioning after you, like, I mean, especially after you set it down, no going back.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just no fixing it. And yeah, it's neat to see how, I think crew always kind of like, I don't think a lot of people have always thought about them, but it's a very important part of theater. We
Mhm.
wouldn't have a play without them.
Right? You would just be standing on the stage.
Exactly. And there's so much that goes into that.
Yeah.
That I didn't get a taste of that until I actually was able to direct my first play, and that was the whole camp thing still.
Mhm.
And but it was so amazing to finally do that. And like I just I always thought that I would continue to do theater, and I really wished I did. And I would have it's one thing that I hate saying that, like, I shouldn't have any regrets, and it's not. It's just something that I was so passionate about, and I absolutely adored. And it was like where I had like, I just felt totally at peace and was able to develop into, I think, who I was, and it gave me confidence, especially when I started to like, when I was talking earlier about the singing, when I started to actually like develop this voice that like I was really like proud of and like really happy. Like, I don't know, when I started to figure out how to, I don't know if I want to say the word belt, but like, like
Mhm.
learning how to actually like, you hear that on soundtracks, but then to actually figure out how to do it, I was just like, it made me feel so good. I was so happy, and I loved that. And anyways,
Well, I bet the high school would love to have help.
I
You could volunteer your time like I'm doing.
Yeah, I love theater, and it's just yeah, it's definitely a great place for anybody that feels a little different or a little unique and is looking to find a place to find their tribe and to also like you can gain a lot of confidence and figure out who you are
Yeah.
there. It's just I mean in so many different ways too. Um, I never ever thought that being on a stage under a spotlight, belting my heart out would be where I felt so passionate and like I just loved it. But it's like, yeah, I
And
can't even.
it's freeing.
It is. Yeah, it gets the. It really does. It literally does make you feel better and like the audience and yeah, it's fun.
And I've always had no surprise, I guess. I've always had issues with other moms. So like I've never
Surprise. Sorry.
like when the kids would play sports, like I had the worst time and I never fit in with them. Um and this group of moms, some of them are leaving because their kids are seniors, but this group of moms were so welcoming and so nice and just like it was so different. And I realized that all of our kids are similar, right? Like they're all a
Hmm.
little different, and there's a lot of outcasts and a lot of queer kids and a lot of
Yeah.
whatever. And I even had a whole discussion with one of the moms about our queer kids. So I was like, I kind of found my place as a mom too.
It's important to do that because you have to work with all the other moms, and if
Hmm.
you want to be involved, it's important to be able to.
That's why I said yes, because I've
Yeah,
always like not been involved
yeah,
because I've never gotten along with the other moms.
and you have to. I mean,
So, yeah, this group of moms
that's awesome.
were great. So,
Well, I am. You know what? I would next time. Like I don't know. Caden's not interested in theater. I don't even think I could. I don't even want to try to get.
not even crew.
No, I mean,
Even if it would be a bunch of people like him,
I.
people that would
So
understand him more.
I already know the answer to that because I know how he. I don't want to do that with him because unfortunately I don't. It would break my heart because it would be something that get so excited about and like I'd love it and I would want to be a part of it and then he wouldn't want to and I wouldn't be able to do it then and it would break my heart that I couldn't do it with like because he'd have to be in the play or he'd have to do something with it. I can't just like go to his high school
Mm.
and be like, hey, let
You
me.
should talk him into doing crew. Maybe Alden can talk to him
Yeah,
as well.
maybe I
Because
would.
Alden was hesitant. Like, because I told him he had to be involved in something. I said, I don't care what it is, but it has to be a thing. And then he started in like with a D&D group. And I said, no, not something you can do on the computer
Right.
with other people. Like
Something without
something
a
that like
screen.
you have to like build up to like
Yeah.
a sport or whatever.
Hmm.
And he said, well, I would like to be around people like me. And that's kind of why I chose D&D.
Yeah.
And so I talked him into theater. I said,
It's a great place.
you're doing stuff backstage, so you're not exposed. You're not like out there. It's
There's
okay.
a
So he did like costumes the first time where like literally nobody can see, you know?
yeah.
And after about a month, he got in the car with a big grin on his face.
Mhm.
And he just felt so at peace, like that he was surrounded by people
Yep.
that understood him more. And we
Yeah.
even talked about that with the teacher when I don't know if you remember, he got really tall really fast.
He did.
And he's more mature in a lot of ways. And he was having a hard time finding his tribe.
Yep.
And he stood around a lot of times, hunched over and just quiet.
Yeah.
And he's blossomed. Like he stands up straight. He's smiling a lot. He's talking more. So it's been really good for him.
It's a huge difference when you like. I mean, I think it literally like once you find another human being, your other like it's just as we said, finding that tribe that does so much for you
Mm-hmm.
because you don't feel so alone anymore. And
Yeah.
and I think that's what it is. You just feel so alone, and then when you find other people, and Caden, he just he goes to a different high school though. And I'm glad the high school that he goes to because it's smaller than the other one in our area that he would be zoned for. But he's found some like there are like I was actually amazed. He did do choir for a little bit. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what has happened with that. But I went to one of his choir concerts, and so funny thing actually. Now I realize how similar our stories are. I was like crying because I was amazed at the talent that they were
Yeah.
doing as like a group, and I was like, I guess it's just maybe I compare it to what we had, and it's just like there was like it was just really cool, and there was like this kid that like I'm one of his friends that was a queer kid that had a solo, and I was like went up to him. I was just so proud of him. I went up to him and I was like, it's
Yeah.
the same story. I was just like, I hope you're pleased, like you're doing so good, and congratulations, and it's neat. Yeah, okay, well I'll try. We'll see. I want to get
Yeah, you
involved in.
should.
It's actually on my bucket list that to.
And then you could be a theater mom.
Oh my god, I'd love to be a theater mom.
Oh my God.
My on my bucket list though is either to get back and be on a stage or do something involved with direct a play or do something like that. Because I love it so much.
Our local community theater,
Nashville's great.
unfortunately, yeah, Nashville's great, but our local theater,
Do we have local theater?
yes,
We
it's
have.
Christian based.
Oh well, then yeah. So it's not
So
local theater. Not what I call. Yeah, I know.
it's called Audience of One,
Oh my
and
god.
one being Jesus.
Yes. So
Yeah.
okay.
So I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna let that one go, but not for us.
No, it's not. However, I'm not because I'm going to say something. I went to go see a show, which I didn't know.
I remember.
Chris got me so excited. We were going. He's like, I got us tickets to go see. I think it was Into the Woods. Was it Chris? Am I right? Was it Into the Woods?
I think
It was at the.
mhm.
Okay, and he knew that I loved it, and I was so excited, and it was in the Capitol Theater, which is a really cute
Yes.
place. It used to be it's an old school movie theater that they revamped.
It has all the marquees and
Yeah,
everything.
and you know what? I was just enjoying it because it was fun to see it in the town that I live in. However, all of a sudden, I started to see some weird things happen with the story. They took things out.
Yeah.
They put new songs in.
Hmm.
And yet it had the same thing. They didn't have some of the characters that die are that huge plot lines. They didn't kill them because it was very heartbreaking. I was very upset. I was really excited to go see it, and then all of a sudden I was like, "What did they do?" Yeah. So, anyways,
Yeah.
okay. Well, Grishaverse. Yeah,
But
podcast time. Yeah.
so I mean, but speaking of things that bring us all together, like fantasy books
Yes.
that have lots of queer characters and different characters. And
Yes. Oh my god. So this, I can't believe we are almost done.
yeah, I feel like episodes 7 and 8 are a 2-part finale.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you definitely get a lot from this episode, and yeah. So this is it's a great episode. There's a lot of stuff going on as usual, but we're definitely getting the finale parts.
Hmm.
And okay, so anyways, I'm trying to think of like some of the main things that it starts off.
Well, there's a massive like battle scene, and those are hard to like really talk about and talk through.
Yeah, that's right. And one thing that I think they bring out that's really interesting to see is the Darklings Grisha, how powerful they are.
We got Hot Topic, Grisha.
Yes, and they're upright just like
I tried to watch it like several times because I'm not understanding what like these new jewel tone Grisha are doing
so I think it's just the Darklings Grisha and
that
that
have Merzost.
right. They've also he's amplified some of them. And then we've got
The ones with the tattoo on their hand.
right, and then we've got Crazy One who has a very distinctive different power now. She was a tide maker, however, and
Hot Topic.
Yeah, Hot Topic
Yeah.
is a tide maker, but on top of that, she can now freeze the water.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that before.
Right.
Because to me, that would be kind of like combining a squalor and a tide maker because I think of the wind freezing
Yeah.
it. But
And then Bernie Face, Navy coat guy, has electricity with lightning, which we know from the books isn't a thing that you're supposed to do or supposed to be able to do, because
right,
only Zoya in the books was able
correct.
to like do that, and she's like super powerful.
Right.
So, but he was able to do that.
So I think what's going on, like, I think it's just like, I mean, so one, the different, because they're wearing different shades,
Mm-hmm.
like, and I think from what I think, it's just these Grisha, they have been separated from their normal clan of Grisha, and now they're supposed to hate all other Grishas.
And that's why they've been calling it the teal season.
Yeah.
But like, there's other teal
yeah,
Grisha running around, and it doesn't seem like they're doing much good.
they're not.
So like, that was all confusing to me too.
I think it's just so they can know who's on which side.
I guess.
Because I mean, the Grisha are going to kill the Grisha, so they can't like.
That's
you'd have to wear different color. I mean,
that's a great point.
But yeah, I mean, you can't. I mean, I'm wearing blue, and then the guy that I'm supposed to kill is wearing blue.
That's
I mean,
an excellent point.
That's what I think it is.
Because Nadia has blue on, but it's more of an icy blue, and then their blue is like a navy blue.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. You're so smart.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. I'll take it. But I don't understand the green. I mean,
the teal, yeah.
I mean, see, I don't even see it as teal. I see it straight up as like, I mean, it is green. I'm like, that is just, well, I mean, green teal. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. Why is that color there?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, because to me, it makes more sense to just do the different shades of the colors. Like, okay, normal.
Yeah, the teal.
Yeah, that's not a combination. I mean, you wouldn't get that from any of the colors.
Because we just have red, purple, blue.
Yeah, teal ain't in there.
And then like
there's no yellow, so to make it teal.
There's no green.
Right, there's no.
To mix with the blue to make. So I don't.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
I don't know. And the answer might be out there somewhere. Like it might.
I don't think it is.
No?
I really don't.
You don't think there's been like a discussion about it?
Well,
somewhere?
maybe a discussion, but not a specific.
So maybe before next time.
Because I've watched it.
I'll need to like. Well, I mean, not in the show, but a discussion like on the internets somewhere
Right.
that.
Because you know me, and the world building stuff is what brings me in. When I first saw Hot Topic, and she actually had, like, she sports, I can't remember whether it's that teal or not, but it's very early on that she is sporting colors that are not regular colors. And, like, so from the minute I saw that, I couldn't stop just, like, obsessing on it. I was like, why is that? So it's not explained in the show. It's just.
And
it's
then
just
the
the separate groups.
girl that's wearing the shade of red is dealing with fire, right?
Correct. Well, I can't remember. I know who you're talking about.
She has one glove.
Okay.
She has one glove and one naked hand, but like
So she's in. Yeah.
I don't. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Well, the Inferni do wear
blue.
No,
with
the Squallers
red.
wear blue. Wait, yeah, you're right. No, so Heartrenders wear red. Maybe there's something that we're missing that. So she just fire.
Or maybe I'm misremembering. But
who knows?
in my brain, I was like,
these Grisha are.
They're different.
Whacked. There we go. We'll just say that. they're just a little different.
They're just different. But also, like, why? Okay, I know why. Like, as far as production, why? But why? In reality, are we fighting in the open? I know, like,
where would you like them to fight?
I feel like if they went in one of those buildings and, like, as the Grisha were coming in one by one, they used to be like, ka-chow, ka-chow, ka-chow. But, like, no, we're out in the open where there's, like, straight eyesight to everybody.
Right.
And I know production wise, it's much easier to film in, like, a wide open space. But, like, if it was real life, you would not just be out. There's all these buildings surrounding you.
Right.
Why are you just outside where it's like raining ice and things? It didn't make sense to me. It's like the end, or not the end, but it's like in Game of Thrones when that kid starts running across the field and all the arrows are coming at them, and you're like, pivot.
Yeah. Good luck.
But like you're just standing there like, oh, I'm going to get behind this crate and it's going to be okay. It's just raining ice shards. So that didn't make much sense to me in a reality sense.
So I realized when you're talking about, there's a couple fight scenes because you were I think what you were referring to is that
Nikolai.
Yeah, that Nikolai fight scene at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and I was thinking about in the very beginning after they shoot down Nikolai's ship.
Yes.
Before, like when, so yeah, we should probably get like parts of there's some really cool aspects of the episode. One thing that I definitely loved seeing was we finally got to see the shadow fold move. I was excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so this episode, like, I mean, they definitely they change around. I don't know if it's really changed around the story. It's just the story has changed, so they had to have different plot lines.
Yeah, like Mal and the Darkling get their talking moment while Mal is in the bathtub.
Exactly. So that's
sexy.
That's in the beginning, and that was neat to see. It kind of Mal. We see the way he's thinking about dealing with the fact that he's the amplifier.
Yeah.
And then the Darkling fight, and Darkling's found out. And what
cousin.
Yeah, that was weird. Hearing them call each other cousin. But yeah, and so before we get to not that it matters that we jump around, but when they were having their battle discussion, like our Alina group, and because Alina obviously doesn't want to kill Mal, but everybody's like, for us to win this war, you've got to. I really think it's interesting the way that they came up with. They're like, you know what? Maybe if I chopped off a piece of you and
which is what they did to Bagra.
Right. But then like
David was there, right? When they did that to Bagra, right?
Yes, David was
so he was doing the same thing.
Yes. However, I think it's a brilliant plan. I don't know how a heartrender could kill you for only 2 minutes, though. Like, I mean, I wish they would have explained on that, but maybe not, because there's probably not a good answer. But it's like, I could kill him and bring him back in 2 minutes. That should be enough time, right? Because obviously the 2-minute mark is where you fully on would be dead, apparently. I mean, just 1 minute of being dead. I mean, I want to know. I'm like, what's the time thing? Why is it exactly 2 minutes? I could kill him for only 2 minutes, though.
I mean, your brain needs oxygen and
maybe it's
all of that because it's probably stopping, the heart for like for 2 minutes, but like your body would need.
Yeah. So I think it's neat their plan, which is to fuse Alina with a piece of his bone. And fuse it with her, so when they actually do kill him for 2 minutes, she can immediately get to doing her thing. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen.
No.
Because they're about to chop off his finger. And
which is kind of a fun scene.
Yeah, and I love, oh my gosh, David with this hand. That is so, like, so, okay, so we have to bring up him and Jenya have a beautiful conversation. I think it's he asks her what her favorite gem is because it's a Duras thing that a Duras can tell a lot about your person by their favorite gem, and I thought that was the cutest conversation.
Yeah.
And it's just she says at first she says emerald and but he's got this hand, and what's that hand for again? He's got the fake hand. Like, I mean, he's holding it.
Isn't it for?
I can't remember.
Nadia's brother.
Oh. Okay.
Adric.
Okay.
Isn't it for Adric?
Yeah. Sure.
Because he got his.
Yes. So he's carrying around this hand. And then it's just so funny. And even when he like waves with it, I thought it was cute. But she says she loves the emerald, and then she realizes that has to do with the Lantsovs, and then ends up saying ruby. And he tells her, well, that is the strongest. A ruby is stronger than an emerald. So I thought that was cute.
It was cute.
I like their little relationship. But let's see what else goes on. We've got the little back and forth things that they keep on showing. Like, I know that the Darkling and them are at Crimson, but like showing those like the kids again. Ugh.
I think that was a reminder of what that building was.
Is that what that was?
Because they show the Darkling in front of the orphanage building, and I think they did a flashback.
They did, right?
Just so we could see that.
Oh yeah,
like the people that
was
might need a little reminder.
Yeah,
I think that's why they did that.
So
to be like, this is why this is so important.
Yep. And so we've got this whole new plan that, I mean, pretty much is going to be Nikolai and them are going to go and try to kill the Grisha. Like, they get in their ship and go. They're trying to do what? Because that's right. They're trying to distract the Darkling so Alina and Mal can slip into the fold without. However, we find out very quickly that they got found out already. Like, I mean, they
and like, so they get shot down and they start running. The crazy Grisha.
Yep.
The way that they burn down the forest and then they blow it out and they just start walking through.
They don't even, they just start walking. It's just like, rock that one.
And they're like, oh gosh, because they're like, they're going to have to get through the forest. Well,
yep.
They're getting through it in about 2 seconds.
And they're like, how is they so powerful? And it's like, and we know because, I mean, it's Bagra. Bagra's in everybody there. Bagra...
She's powering that ship.
So what's interesting, and I'm glad I remembered this because I always forget that. So the kid that's it's one of the Darkling's children, whatever. That's got he's the alchemist. That is the one that's pretty much been fusing the amplifier. Vladim. Okay. So he I guess I didn't realize it when he was doing it, but I saw like he at one point I don't it wasn't this episode, maybe the one before, he's crushed up Bagra's bones, and then he's like tapping it on his finger and saying, like, you see that like fusing. I didn't realize till this episode that that was his amplifier that was giving himself. And I thought it was really interesting because the Darkling, it's just a really quick scene, but the Darkling says, like, can you feel his power is to feel Merzost, like, and anywhere that's like not within this vicinity, and that's how the Darkling knows that Alina and Mal are in the fold. It was just so weird because I was just like, it's just a weird power. Sorry, I think that's what I'm trying to say. I was just like, I was surprised by it, that his power was to feel Merzost, which, that's very different. That's not an amplifier, because an amplifier can only feel Grisha power. So, I mean, this would... Am I right on this? Like, I mean, not an amplifier, but sorry, the testers, whatever. Well, the amplifiers,
right.
Yeah, thank you, Lord. So Merzost, and they're whatever. Okay, there's so much in this episode, but the fight scene. I laughed at some of this. I'm sorry, but when we've got the mean Grisha that have created their own, like, flying duck. I think of the, what is that hockey movie when we were very young with the kids? The
Mighty Ducks?
Yeah. What's the Flying V? The Flying, it's their, like, that's what
I don't remember.
I think it's the Flying V is the name of the, like, thing they do at the end to try to score. They're, my God, Chris, help me. What is the name of, like, when you're in a sport and you've got a tactic, like, what is it? That's their...
A play?
No, but the Flying V, for instance, it's their,
Hail Mary?
The shape that the... No, they're... I don't... Okay. Well, I'm just sound like an idiot. I don't know. I was thinking that... Okay. When they've got the So our crazy Grisha have the squallers that have the crazy power going on, and they get in a circle around the other hot topic girl, and they're just going one step at a time. I was cracking up. That was so funny to me. It was very weird. Um, why do they have to go?
I don't know.
Okay, so
But yeah, I know what you're talking about. They're with every like step forward, they're like, whew,
I mean,
whew.
and of course they had to make the men, we're in Ravka, do like this, and then it's like this. It reminded me so much of like, are they about to do the Fiddler on the Roof? Like, I mean, like dance? Are we about to get that? Because that very much looked like it. And I was like, it just, and you know what I'm referring to.
Yes.
But it was just, that was funny to me. However, I was into this when I was watching this, especially for the first time. Like, you get really mad at the Gothic Grisha. Like, I was getting so angry at them. Like, I mean, because I hated seeing them get excited when they hurt us. They'd kill some, and I'd be like, no. But it's just, there's a lot going on in that. And Nikolai and his poor limp leg that he's just dragging through the forest, and he's doing that for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, but Nikolai's friend dies. That was sad. By the ice shards
Yeah.
from Gothic Girl. Yeah. It didn't look good. I mean, everything was like, I didn't know where they were going with it. I was worried about it. But I'm just so glad that finally our crows come in to save the day.
Yeah. And we have David shoving Jinya in an elevator and like sealing it.
So this part, okay, I might need your help with that one. Because we don't see the end of that yet, right?
No, it's next
Yeah.
episode.
So, we don't see any, he's just doing that because he doesn't want to, he's going to protect her. They can't be together. Is this
Yeah,
his...
he put her in there to protect her, and he's going to like distract whatever or save her.
Were they at the point where they had, there was no...
I don't know, because he had just sealed the door. And then, I don't know.
Because that was just really confusing to me. I'm like, David, why wouldn't they be together? Are they out of options where it's one of them has to distract the Nichavoya or they're going to both die?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay. Well, good. I'm glad
And it wasn't like it was a last-ditch effort because they weren't, like, in the room yet or anything. So, I don't know.
Okay, good. I was very confused.
I think the writers just needed...
Something?
Something, yeah.
Okay, well, it confused me. Let's see, what else was great? So, I was really happy to see, when the crows do come in, I think that was really cool to see the different things they did. So, Gothic Girl, yeah, she dies at the end, thankfully. But the crazy man with the scars, he is they get him drugged up. They blow something, and he's...
I think it's the same thing the toxins that they had when they were going to the sword.
Oh.
It's that same like neurotoxin or whatever. So I called him Bernie. Sorry.
Okay, Bernie. What's up?
Because he's got a Bernie face.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hey,
I give everybody nicknames. I'm the worst
It's
with names. So everybody gets a nickname.
Hey. I always know who you're talking about, and it's good. So
there's Hot Topic, there's Bernie. So yeah, they throw an axe to his face, but because he's in like dream world, it looks like a beautiful bird.
It looks like a
he's
really
just
pretty
like,
bird.
oh, pretty bird.
It was so weird at first because you have no clue what's going on, because all of a sudden you see him breathe it in, and all of a sudden he's like, you hear they play some music, and he's like, oh.
It sounded like that cartoon, like Tweety, yeah.
Yeah, like when you have the stars going around your head. But yeah, we see then that is not a bird.
And before that happened, Kaz threw his cane to interrupt the lightning,
Yes, that was interesting.
which I wish they would have said more about
Why-
that. But remember, his cane was Grisha made.
Was
So
it?
yeah.
Where
So-
did we have
And I
that?
think at some point it might have even been in the first season, but somewhere in the show he said something about Jesper fixing his cane.
Okay,
Um,
I
but,
missed
like,
that and forgot.
I wish they would have said something about like why that
did.
worked so well.
Because it doesn't make sense that it, like I just don't
If I
understand.
just threw a cane, like that wasn't gonna, that
Yeah.
wouldn't do anything.
It was. I mean, So I guess maybe when I think about it this way, it's metal, lightning would like
But it's like Grisha steel or something like that.
yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe it's just like I don't know. Yeah. So that works, and then finally,
Oh, and Jesper.
yeah, he's
Jesper in his kilt, first of all.
oh yeah, he's
Like
running
his
around
outfit is like
rocking.
amazing. But yeah, he takes off his buttons and he starts using his powers more.
And I love his conversation with Hot Topic, who
Yeah.
she's like trying to like she has no clue that he's Grisha,
Uh-huh.
and then
She's
he's
like, "You're a."
and he's like, I'm blessed.
Yeah.
Just using the word blessed somehow, but in a really cool way. And I was like, yes, Jesper, you
Uh-huh.
bring it. And I'm so proud of him.
Yeah,
And
that was his moment.
it was.
Hmm.
It really was. So, and right before this, it's Nikolai's little best friend kind of guy dies.
He's the one that shows
That-
up in Rur.
So that's what I was just about to ask you. Like,
Was it Rur?
No, I think it's
King of
we
Scars?
learn about I think we read
His childhood friend who took the punishments for him.
yeah, exactly, wherever
That's
that
him.
was. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I was making that's what I want to ask, because that's exactly who I thought
Mhm.
it was, and I was just like, and I like that they're doing that. I mean,
If they're
actually-
gonna end the Grisha story, then at least we got to see him.
right, and we'll get to that in a second. Yeah. Anyways, so that was cool. We got oh, and so Zoya and all them show up. That's right. That's the next part. Is we've got then
They're in the center of the fold.
yes, they're in the center of the fold. And oh my gosh,
I love how Nina's just like, "Hey, big fan," because nobody knows who she is.
yeah, she's so cute. And I think Inej is like when she comes and saves Alina from getting dragged off by the Nichevoya with the Neshaweman
Mhm.
sword. I love her stance this whole season with like Inej. Like, I mean, just the way she lands.
Yeah.
It's just really cool. But yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people dying.
And we have Matthias and Pekka Rollins having
yeah,
a
that's
conversation.
And that's really small, and I forgot about it. I'm so sorry, but you're right.
No, it's tiny, but it's
It's in there.
important for the next
It is.
episode.
and it's in there.
Yeah.
So, and what is going on in there? What is I thought it was neat because I remember Matthias is drawn in the sand, his
This little gel.
his gel tree,
Yeah.
and Pekka Rollins. What does he say to him? Can you?
He talks to him about his religion and the fact that his religion won't let him get revenge is wrong.
Yeah.
And Matthias is like, "I've had enough of you."
Right.
But I think Pekka Rollins sees Matthias's
Connection.
his build, like his strength,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows that he could make
Yeah.
money off of that. So,
Oh yeah.
and then he says something about, wouldn't you want to be with the person who told on you or snitched or whatever? And he gets a steamy scene in his head.
That is a little surprising, to be honest, because
There's been a couple times this season where I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
we haven't.
There's an F word.
Is there?
There's a part where they say wet your willy.
Ooh.
There's several sexual scenes. Like, that actually surprised me. Can you imagine, like, a 13-year-old reads the books and then is like,
Watches this.
hey, I'm going to watch the show. And the mom's like, okay, because you've read the books. And then walks in during one of those things.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more
Adult.
hot.
Yeah.
Like, but hot in a bad, like, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the hot. That it's, I don't know. It's just you're right. There's a lot going on with it. So, and a lot of this is all like build up to. I mean, obviously, we know the next episode is going to be our ending, but we get into the fold, and like, I mean, we finally like we're pretty much seeing our own different end. It's kind of like the same ending as Ruin and Rising, but not forget about the war that like all the Grisha are fighting.
Mm-hmm.
That and Alina and Mal are able to like, I mean, she's gonna try to destroy the fold by like, I mean, they start hugging and embracing.
Yeah.
Did I?
Barf.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone's like, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, and that's Nina's line, and I love her. But she's the one that says that. She's like, it's so beautiful, and I'm like, yeah.
But then like Zoya and Nina are standing there like, oh my gosh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
And like they're just standing there like kissing, and I'm like, hello.
I mean, it's just, yeah.
Whatever.
What I did think was neat is that Alina, before they did that, Alina's like, yeah, this is it. This is the center of the fold. This must be the heart of the fold.
Mm-hmm.
And how, I don't know what that is. It looks like a little stage, but it's not a stage. I guess it like.
I think it was a foundation to a
to a
building.
house. Okay. I love that because, I mean, that's like a little bit of a, for us that read the books, like we know how that transitions further on in our story going into King of Scars.
Yeah.
And like,
And we'll definitely talk more about that next
Yeah.
time.
yeah. So, yeah, but then the Darkling comes in and he's like, sorry, I got to break this up. But I almost feel bad that I'd have to kill you or whatever. And yeah, it ends where, like, I mean, Alina is able to get the Darkling somehow. Like, I mean, does she get the cut? She doesn't use a cut, does she?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I think
In a way, but
he
she
gets
knocks
a wound.
him down, and then the episode ends.
Right. Well, then Mal's also, can't forget, Mal has also been knocked down now. Mal's got wounds.
Mm.
So this is just putting a whole dampering on everybody. Let's see.
I think we hit it all.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it sets it up definitely for, the finale episode,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm excited to see. And you know what? I'm not going to do what I did this week or any other week. I'm going to watch it a couple days before and watch it again. Because I hate waiting till the last minute. But it was still good. I have not had any issues with the way they've had to change the storyline a little bit. I've actually kind of enjoyed it. Especially the way they've integrated the crows. I think that's the cool part.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay. So, okay. Well, that was fun. Yeah, so instead of us, like, I don't want to do a whole Grisha Cast news segment. But I do have one little bit of news that I know that I just saw and read. So our fandom was recently in Rolling Stone, where they were talking about how our little fandom is trying so hard to get season 3, or the renewal, or just another thing for this show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually a really cool article. It just talks about how Netflix, is very big on, having 2 seasons of a show.
Yeah.
And then calling it quits, and that it's all based off of these numbers, and how our fandom has wanted this so badly, and we've worked so hard that they said the different ways that people were trying to get the numbers up by like having the season just playing on silent in their bedrooms, and yeah, all these different things. But unfortunately, they put this article out now, and now it doesn't matter how many. Like, I mean, I don't think from what I was reading, it's based off of the numbers in the beginning.
It's like the
Right?
first 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. So, but that's so. I don't know. It made me sad because like it was like, are we losing hope? It didn't. It said like, I mean, nothing's been announced yet.
Yeah.
And even Rolling Stone did reach out to Netflix, and for a comment, no comment got released. I just oh God, I hope we do good.
I think the Crow spinoff is probably more likely to happen than a
well,
3rd season of.
it's got to be
Shut up,
one.
Bubba.
I mean, if we get any of it, that'd be great. Right now, it's just we hope we get something. They did in this article in Rolling Stone. It was really cool how they reached out to a lot of just like fans that like I mean ran Facebook pages, just all these different things. It was a really cool article. I actually found it through Lee's Instagram.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everybody hold on tight. I hope we have more. I hope this isn't the end. No, have faith. I will. Okay. Well, love you all. It's been fantastic. And yeah, we're going to see you all next week for the finale episode of season 2.
Woohoo!
Oh my goodness. Long live the Grishaverse.
Like we're at the end of the hour, so my voice is a little husky. A+.
No mourners.
No funerals.
This has been GrishaCast. Connect with us on the web at GrishaCast.com. Send an email to info@GrishaCast.com.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok at GrishaCast.
And thank you to our amazing staff, Chris, Michelle, Alex, Brenda.